Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel and part 6 of my Journey into Junk Journaling series using Love Letters by Country Craft Creations. This video is to show you how to put in all these pretties that you may have made from the last video into the book and start kind of trying to finish up on this junk journal. Though, are you ever really done with a junk journal? I don't know. You can keep adding and adding and adding. So anyway, for this series, I did use the Love Letters from Country Craft Creations, which is a really beautiful paper collection. I used the 12 by 12. It's exclusive to Country Craft Creations, and you'll always be able to get it. It's not just for Valentine's. It can be used for Valentine's, but it's wonderful for junk journaling or for other albums. So we're going to get into this, and so yeah, stay with me. I hope I haven't lost some of you with the length of this series, but it's something you can always come back to and jump in and start again from the front or for the first video and just work your way through. All the videos are in a playlist on my channel, so you'll be able to find them all. And at the end of each video, there is a video clip link in the on the screen where you can just click on that and go to the next video. Okay, so let's get started on this. Okay, so I've been playing a little bit with my journal, and I'll show you what I've done so far. It's going to get pretty chunky. And, of course, junk journaling is a personal thing, so what you put in yours is going to be different than mine. But I just want to show you what I'm doing, kind of give you some ideas and how I'm bringing in this beautiful paper collection, Love Letters from Country Craft Creations. Now, the first thing I did, of course, remember I had the white texture paste with a stencil with the rose here, and so I took my Worn Lipstick Distress Oxide ink and a dauber, and I very gently inked where the roses and the flowers are. Just took some ink here. There's a little bit here I didn't get on that one. I just kind of dabbed at it. Now it's not going to be perfect, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I just want to put a little more color here on that one, kind of bringing out that. So you see, I just get some ink and then I start dabbing where the rose is. Right there, a little more in that. And so it does kind of come up on the edges some, and then I inked on the page some because I wanted to bring in that pink. And then for the green, I used my Color Philosophy Wasabi for a light green. Let's switch this out and show you. I'll put a little bit more on the green parts, the leaves. So I just kind of dabbed at it. This one doesn't come off quite as much color as the pink, and I'm okay with that. So I just want I want some green in those areas there where it's leaves. Okay, so that's what I did with that. You can leave it white if you wanted to. I don't know, kind of like that. So then I took some of this plaid paper, this sheet here, and I tore a piece here. I just tore a piece, and then I used my mini Tim Holtz stapler, and I stapled that piece on there, and then I stapled this tag I had made in the last video. So that's what I've got on that page. So for now, I'm going to leave that like that. And of course, you can always come in here with some stamping or write a verse, whatever you want to do. Then you flip to this side. Here on this page, I glued this envelope pocket that I made. And in it, I have the cut apart, and I inked with pink on that. But I'm going to add some of the brown coffee archival ink as well. So I'm just get some on my brush. Fold this corner down and ink that. So I just want the look of a touch of pink in with the coffee color. Okay, so there's that. So that goes in there. Of course, I can put more things in there. And then I glued a piece of this lace across the top, which goes over the back of those staples. And then I will decide later if I want to do some stamping or something. So here on this page, I took one of those corner bookmarks I made and decided I want to make it permanent. So I did staple that on. And then here I have it on the back like this. So that's pretty much where I'm at with that. I haven't done anything else. This page is just an insert. It's the glassine bag that comes out on this side. So you just center it. So it is loose. But I did tear another piece of that paper, glued it on, glued lace. Then I took a little bit of that fabric scrap I had laying here and I put in a T-pin. I still haven't gotten around to rusting anything, so I'm just going to use them as they are. Here I glued in this pocket. I haven't attached anything. And that's pretty much where I'm at right now with all the stuff that I'm adding in. So I'm going to skip over more towards the back now because I want to add in some other elements here in the back. Now this is just a piece of the paper that I cut down and then I roughed the edges and inked it and kind of tattered the corners here a little bit. I like that pretty heart. And I think I'm just going to stick that in here with one of my hidden paper clips. I'm going to put it on here at the top. I'm putting the lace piece here and the flower towards the back. So I'm going to just kind of stick that on right there. So that can be moved. This is something that you can just add in to get that pattern paper in there and still have your pages like that. Now this is that insert. That's just a free insert. I can stick it in either with washi tape maybe, or just leave it where it's loose. And I kind of like it loose in there so that you can take it in and out and move it around. So I kind of put it there. This is real pretty rose. This is on that envelope that I had. It was already stamped, but I think I want some pink on there and some of this green. Let's see. Got my green ink here. I'm just going to put some in the area where the leaves would be. It's just real light, not a whole bunch of color. And then switch out to the pink for the rose. So just take things that you have, work with what you've got. Don't fret about it a whole lot, that you don't have this or that. And I'm just going to kind of bring it out. I miss those leaves right there. Okay. See, I think that's pretty like that. And then, of course, I'm going to ink the edges of the envelope here. Just to kind of bring in that rustic look. Okay, so I like that. That's kind of pretty. So that's there. And this side here, I'm going to put some paper or something. So I have all these bits of paper that I tore. So I think I'm just going to kind of maybe do a collage on the back of this. That's kind of pretty with the rose. So I'm going to put some glue on it. So I'm going to show you what to do with scraps or some of the bits of paper that you've torn. So I'm just going to start layering it on here. I have different pieces, and if I don't have enough, I will make some more. There's no particular order to it. It's just something I want to do to kind of decorate this up. So just keep gluing scraps of paper here and there on the back of this envelope. Others I have here, some different pieces. So this is why you keep your scraps when you're tearing paper, because you can use it to do a collage. I have little bitty pieces here. Okay, I'm gonna look for some more. Oops. Okay. Right there. Maybe just a little more right there. Let's see what we got. Okay, I like that. I'm going to do some inking now. Take my brush and some ink and just kind of ink lightly in different areas where it's joined together, kind of make it, you know, show up a little more. Okay, I like that. Here, I like this pocket here. This is the pocket with the different sections. Oops, that don't go there. And this I'm going to put right here. So I'm putting glue on the back side of this pocket that I made. I've already got all the elements inside of it into each pocket. And so I'm just going to glue it right there. Let it attach down. So that goes with that. And then we can put something here if we want to. So that inserts there. I'm thinking I like this angle pocket here. So I think I'm going to put that right there. So I want to make sure that I'm just putting the glue on the outer edges so that I can still utilize this as a pocket. I'm just going to glue that right here and here. So that becomes a pocket with the papers from the collection. Just burnish that down. So now I can put letters or different things in there, and then I like that. So let's flip through and see what we have. We have different things in here I've inserted. This is where I tied my ribbon. So here on this, another pocket. We've got different pockets here. Paper clip there. Under some kind of pocket just in with the paper clip. No, but I like that pocket like that with this page like that. So I'm going to glue this one down. Oops, lots of glue coming out of there. I'm not using my fine tip because I want to make sure everything sticks in good. So we got this pocket here. So I've got places for tuck spot in there. And then leave this way for now. Hold up that. This is really old. So on this, like something like this, you could glue something on, like if you wanted us to cut out rows. Rosebud here. Go ahead and get this big rose up here. I'm leaving that where it's torn there. I'm just going to ink that. I don't want anything that's totally perfect. So you just kind of let the torn edges show. Your fussy cutting doesn't have to be perfect. This is going to go right here. I am going to put this corner right here like this. If we can get it on there. And what I did is my glue is too far in there. So I kind of have to go in with my scissors and pry open some of the edges. And that's why I ended up on that other one. Attaching it to the page because it's kind of heavy for this paper here. So I just kind of did that. And I'm going to flip this over here and I'm going to grab some of my washi tape that I have. This is pretty with some rows on it. And I'm going to put glue right along the edge of this. I'm going to put washi tape on there. I'm taping it in. And that glue will help hold that down like that. So then we flip this over and then we have it in an opening here and we can tuck something up in there. So See what we've got as far as paper that could go up in there. I'm just going to cut this one. It's already partly cut down, and that will stick up in there. So I'm going to rough up the edges with my scissors and even let it cut in and kind of tear a little bit. See how that one tore right there? And I'm fine with that. So I do think this will be the last video of this series. Off camera, I am going to probably do some more stamping and stamp some images, add some of my papers that I have in my stash, perhaps more lace off camera, because it is a process. It's not something that you can just sit down. I don't want to sit here for hours and keep you on a video for hours, because the fun of it is to just work on it a little bit, maybe every day, but I'm going to get more of mine done so that I can share it. Then if you want to age this paper some, I'm just going to poke a hole right there. And I'm going to fold it in. And try to make it look a little worn. If I can. Right here, some ink. And then this is just going to kind of stick in right there. Let's fold this up a little. Let's get this a little more tattered looking here. A little more wrinkling here on the side. Okay, let me open it up. So we got that like that, so then I can add more stuff in there if I want on that page. So here we have another, now this is a pocket here. So we can make some kind of insert here. We can put paper here if we want. So like this. I think I'm going to glue some of this on here. I'm just going to lay it on here and kind of trim it down with my scissors. I'm just going to glue that in. I love working with this Love Letters paper. It is so pretty. And you're going to see several designers using it for different projects, different albums for junk journaling. It is just really, really pretty. So I'm going to take some more lace. I'm going to glue lace right there. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a bit, and then I will cut that off on the end. Okay, so while my lace was drying, I went ahead and did a few more things on this pocket. So I added this rose trim here, and I've got that gluing right now. I aged some seam binding ribbon and tied it around the pocket. I need to ink the back side of that because I don't want it totally white. I want some stain on it. And then I glued this piece on the back of that pocket to make it a little stronger. So we have this pocket here with the glassine bag and the laces on it. Then I tied some of this a bee charm onto this jute string, this heavier jute string, and then I attached it on here with the T-pin. Then I used the Be Creative washi tape right here on the edge. So the pocket is right here. And so all this is hanging on here. So I love how it turned out. So this, as soon as it dries, it can come off. And then on this page, because back here, this is pretty heavy, I wanted this page a little stronger, so I glued this piece from the paper collection on here. And remember, using Scotch tape, well, instead of doing on wax paper, I just put the tape down and then took my ink and rubbed over it and aged that Scotch tape some. So like this is taped on there, and I love how that turned out as well. So that's what I've done while this was drying. I think the back of this one I'll probably leave plain for now, you know, for some stamping or writing and journaling. You want to leave blank pages in here and there for your journaling, because it's called a junk journal. So you want to do that. So that's where we're at right now. I really love how that turned out. So just add bits of this and that to your pages. And then here we can tuck in letters or notes or whatever we want to right there. So I think that turned out really great on that part. So I forgot to show you, once your lace is dried, if you've glued it on with it as a long piece, just go back once it's dried and just trim that off where you need to. So now that one is done. And I think I want to show you how to put in like a divider thing. So let me grab something for that, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now I flip back over to this one. I decided I didn't want this totally loose, and instead of a paper clip, I took a large safety pin and a little bit of that seam binding ribbon and a little bit of that lace, and I've just pinned it all the way through the page onto this back side page. So I've got it all the way through attached like that. And then I didn't like that when I put this on that my heart was turned the wrong direction. So I just pulled it off and glued it back down the right way. So now I have that one like that. So I can put stuff underneath here. And then I flipped over to the other side of this envelope here. So I flipped over to here and I punched out some flowers. I took a bit of greenery that was laying here on my desk. I just glued it down. This came this way, wherever I picked it up. The vintage was stamped on there. This was glued on, this green washi tape, and this was stamped on. Then I took my Tombow pins and I colored in the stamp area and then inked over it with my coffee ink. And then I glued a button here in the center of the flower. So I really like how that turned out. So I haven't decided the back side of that yet. So that's where I'm at right now with this. So I just wanted to show you some different ways you can add this in. So I'm going to keep adding in the elements that I made with this particular collection. And I'm trying to decide here if I want this pocket. And I did want to show you some divider things. And of course it's fine when things stick out because that's kind of far. I don't want that far because it's going to stick out too far. So I think I'm just going to glue this pocket on this page because I do want to use all the elements that I made with the Love Letters paper collection. I want to use them in this journal. So I'm just going through the process of adding them in and then adding some of my other stuff in. And I haven't forgotten I was going to show you how to do some dividers. So we'll do that in just a bit here. Let's finish adding in some of the stuff that I have already pre-made. This kind of sticks in here. This tag went in there. Okay. And we have this pocket. So I think that may be all of it for now. So I'm going to flip through all the way back here. Like that. I'm going to put this other pocket right here. Just glue it in, and then I'll do some decorating with it, either off camera or whatever. And I will certainly do a kind of a separate walkthrough video of the finished junk journal. Put that one right there. That page. Let me see where I want to put this other pocket. divider. I'll put it on the opposite side here. I think I'm going to put it right there. So again, the glue goes on the back side of it. Put a good amount of glue. We want to make sure it stays in. Okay, so there's that in there. And then I'm going to grab some stuff and show you how to add in divider. Oh, look how thick it is. It's getting really thick. So that's a junk journal for you. Of course, that's why we have the tie on there. So I like it where it's just popping open like that, and you've got to flip through it. So I'm going to show you how to do some dividers, some that were already pre-made, and then maybe how to make some. Okay, so dividers. Why would you want dividers? Well, just for looks, maybe, or actually to mark a certain page in your book that you really like, kind of sticking out, just to give it different looks to your junk journal. Now, here I have some that I had purchased, I believe, that were pre-made. They're made out of tea-dye paper, and they have been stitched on. So I really like that. So if you have a sewing machine, you can make your own with that. Just leave the threads hanging, and you would take your page that you want to mark, and you would just either staple or glue these on the edge where they stick out just a little bit, depending on how much you want them to stick out. So I'm just going to put some glue on it here, and I'm just going to maybe about a 1/4 inch stick it out, and just kind of glue it right there on the edge. You can also use your paper clip, you know, if you wanted to hold it with a paper clip, in addition to gluing it on. And you can also just staple it on if you wanted to. So that is like a page marker. Now this sticks out, so that's one in itself. The other thing you can do is find a page and take some lace, and you can glue your lace so that it sticks out a bit. So I really like this. Let's see how long this is. And you don't have to trim it off if you don't want to, the top and the bottom. So I'm going to put glue on the edge here of my page. And then I'm going to take this wide lace that was cut off of a dress or apron or something. I can't remember. I had it in my stash. So it's a little longer and top and bottom, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. I don't care. I'm going to just let it stick out. I'm going to put a little glue on the edge here of it where the fabric is to make sure it sticks down. It's just a pretty addition to your page, just edging it and letting it stick out. Now I'm going to have to let that dry, but see how it sticks out like that from your junk journal, and I love that. So that's really pretty. I'll be putting that one in as well somewhere. So I'm going to put something in here to keep my page from attaching down. Now this was from some packaging. Now if you have some packaging that you've torn off of something, you could use packaging. Let me pull some glue off my fingers and string. Okay, so someone had made this packaging out of like a grocery bag, so you could use a grocery bag, and they stamped on it. And I'm just going to trim this down about like that. And it has a staple in it, and I'm going to leave the staple there. And you can go to the page you want to bookmark on, and you can just glue this on, or you can staple it on, so it can be in here with this pocket like that. So where's my little stapler? I'm just going to turn this, and I'm going to re-staple right along where that one staple is, or try. And then I'm going to take this one out and then staple. Oops, where'd my page go that I wanted to go through? Right here. Now then, reach in there, and I'm going to put two. These are tiny attachers. So see a step there, and then you can decorate this back side if you wanted to, and it's sticking out like that. So that's how you can make it out of like a leftover packaging or some grocery bag or envelope. You can actually take your pad paper that you have, that you're working with at the collection. So this is the love letters, and I'm going to ink this one up some. So I just cut a square and have folded it in half, and then I can just go in here and find a page somewhere where I want to put a bookmark. Like right here. And I'm just going to glue that on front and back. So that's a pretty way to just make a simple bookmark. Just kind of let it stick out a little bit. There we go. And of course you can add, you know, some lace onto that if you wanted to. Like a little piece of lace here. Just glue that on. Like that. And then I have this button that's on some kind of card. That can become part of a divider like that. I'm going to glue that on there. It's an old button, it's vintage. It's on the piece of carding. Looks like somebody marked on it. I'm just going to let it stick out like that. Okay, so there is another way you can do dividers for in your book. And of course you have this one here that is like a large bookmark divider that sticks all the way in. So you know what, I'm going to probably put some lace on this one too, on this back side, so it can stick out. So I'm going to look for some lace for that. Turn this page like this, mark my spot, and then I'm going to find some lace that I want to put on my big bookmark divider. So I had an old handkerchief that I had this tatting on the edge. So I just trimmed off that right there, and I'm going to just lay this right here and glue this on right on this back edge. And I'm going to let the lace part stick out. And here, put a little glue extra on there. Fabric off right there. So it's just loose lace out like that. And then I think I want some more ribbon. So I'm going to show you how I age up this ribbon. So I'm pulling off some good piece of this ivory color. And then I'm going to take my water and I'm just going to spritz it in my hand. Get it wet enough that I can just kind of start rolling it up in a ball, but not so wet that I have to dry it just yet. Just roll it up like that, get it kind of wrinkled, and I hope I tie it enough to wrap around. Let's see. Wrap it around. And then I'm going to just tie it right here. Let's pull a little more this way. So this is seam binding like that you can order from Country Craft Creations, and then you just wrinkle it up, wrap it around, and tighten a bow. And you don't have to worry about tying the ends into a knot or anything, because it's okay in a junk journal if it ravels some. Or at least I think it's okay. You can do whatever you want. If you want to, you know, tighten a knot, you can. So then I kind of wrinkled it up some more, and then I take my ink coffee ink. And I just kind of dab at it. And that's why I end up with a lot of ink on my fingers. Just get it here. And that's okay if it gets on the paper some, because with this brush, you're not getting a whole lot of ink, and it's pretty much going where you want it to go. Then I turn it over, and I ink this some. See, it doesn't put a whole lot on it. It just puts a little color here and there, and you can put some darker spots on certain areas of the ribbon. See, it's real pretty like that. So that's the divider there, and then I've got this over here glued on. Let's hit that with some ink. Okay, so that just lays in there, right in there like that. And then that lace just kind of hangs out, kind of folds nicely over there, over that. Okay, so I like how it's turning out, and it's getting really, really thick. So I have all the elements inside my book that I created in the last video out of the Love Letters paper. So I have all that in here. So I'm going to go ahead off camera now and just add different little things, you know, like some stamping of images or whatever I feel like I want to add, maybe some more lace. But I've pretty much showed you how to do all the different elements so that you can branch out on your own, create more for your book. So I want to thank you so much for following along with this tutorial. There will be a separate walkthrough video showing you, once I get this all done, what I've finished with inside of mine. So this concludes the journey into junk journaling with me, creating this out of a file folder and using the Love Letters collection from Country Craft Creations. So you see how full that is, and it's going to, you know, when you tie it, that's what keeps it closed, but that's what a junk journal is. If you don't want yours popping up like that, then you would need a wider spine. So you would make yours maybe like a regular album, your cover. But this is how I made this one, and I just love it. It's beautiful with the papers from Country Craft Creations that are exclusive to their store called Love Letters. It's the 12 by 12 collection. Check that out. And thank you so much for joining me for this series. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you're a beginner with junk journaling, I hope I gave you some great ideas. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.